Since you didn't walk on the moon, was that something that you've always regretted, or is it something that you just learned to live with over time?
Well, I regretted it. Yeah, I still regret it, but
Right.
not with the same intensity I felt both at after on Apollo 13 for having failed on that occasion, but I felt it again when they canceled 18 and 19 because I knew I'd lost my second chance.
Yeah.
But no, over the years, I look back and I feel fortunate. As we know, not many people have gotten to go to the moon, not
Right. Yeah.
at all. And
Right.
I was lucky to be one of those, at least had the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're one of the few people to see the dark side of the moon,
right.
correct?
Yeah, we say dark side. It's not really always dark.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We have a new moon that's a full moon on the backside,
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and vice versa. When we have a full moon, then it's a dark side.
Right. Yeah. What does the moon look like up close? Because how
Uh,
far away were you from the actual surface when you guys orbited it, basically?
we didn't orbit. We looped around it at
Looped
about
around. Right.
136 miles,
Wow.
136 miles up, which gave us a broader view of the moon from that altitude. We got some pictures of some of the more southern, I guess, parts that had not been taken on previous flights
Mhm.
or limited and going around at 60 miles. But it was a pretty unhospitable place. Now, the Earth has oceans, land
Sure.
masses, cloud patterns, colorful, it's technicolor,
Yeah.
whereas the moon's kind of shades of gray,
Right.
from
Yeah.
darker areas to even some pretty light areas, which I assume has got to be fresher impacts or something where it's splashed out material.
Right.
But just blah, gray, very, very beat up.
Yeah.
The backside overall, at least the portions we saw, which is about half of the backside, appear overall have been more beat up than the front side with major hits. So anyway, it's not near those many dark areas you see, which were major meteorite impacts. It's not. We shot pictures of a couple of them that were. There's one very attractive crater, Tsiolkovsky, named after a Russian,
Mm.
and the other Sea of Moscow that were within our view. Tsiolkovsky was a beautiful, dark area with a sort of a little mountain in the center of it. The Russians got to send the first probe around the moon and shot pictures.
Mm.
That gave them naming rights, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and but just beat up crater after crater, from bigger to smaller to medium to
Hmm.
I'm sure again if you were on the surface, you'd see smaller craters that we weren't visible from 136 miles.
Yeah.
So it's constantly being bombarded in some way or another because it has no atmosphere. So I would guess if you came back in a billion years and looked at the front side of the moon, it might not look like it looks today
Right. Yeah.
from being re-impacted in
Sure.
different ways and rechurning the regolith, the surface,
Yeah.
continually over eons.
Hmm.
But that's the kind of what's going on there.
Right. So NASA after the Apollo program, we obviously had the Skylab, now the space shuttle, now the International Space Station. But how come NASA hasn't gone back to the moon?
Money.
Money, right?
We ain't going to Mars.
Yeah.
All right. If you write a big enough check, go. No,
Right.
no. But behind the money is you got to have the impetus in various ways. Like I said, you got to have the political front aligned
Mm,
with the right administration that will be
sure.
backed by a unified Congress
You're
uh,
right.
through their process to properly fund it and maintain the funding for a program plan to get going and get the job done. And that's been part of the stuttering stops and starts NASA's had since.
Right.
The program plan agreed to has never been properly funded. So it ends up
Mm,
stretch outs, slips, overruns. That's what happens to it.
right. Yeah.
And so that's what NASA's been having dealing with.
Right. Well, when that's said, what do you think are some of the more general misconceptions that the public makes about space travel and NASA in general?
Well, I think the one big misconception is that NASA has the authority and capability to go do what it wants to do, and obviously I've just explained why it does not.
Right, right.
I'm saying too many people also interesting, and it says we've not had American history as good as we should in schools. Think of like the president's a dictator. If
Mm,
the president issues an edict, are we going back to the moon, like happened with President Bush,
yeah.
and is right now going on with President Trump?
Mm,
Unless he gets Congress together, because they own the money.
sure.
Congress owns the money. The
Yeah.
president can say whatever he wants, and unless they get together and fund it, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And so that's been the ongoing situation since Apollo.